But this is one of my biggest problems in football when players do this, right? Make your complaints, make it heard, let the VAR checks go on in the background or whatever, but get on with the game, most importantly. Do your jobs, get back, and it's such a poor and sloppy goal. Luton won, Liverpool won in a game we really should have been winning on paper, and here is my post-match review as usual. So, if you're new, please do hit subscribe and also hit the like button to try and get my content out to a wider audience. But yeah, let's get into that game. What a game it was. It was chaotic. It was, from a neutral point of view, I'd say probably a really good game of football. Certainly lacked quality in certain parts, particularly in that first half. But it was one of those games that was just so end to end, so all over the place, and in one of those cracking atmospheres that it's just, you couldn't take your eyes off the game. And as a Liverpool fan, I was just so anxious. Now, starting off the game, we see Gomez starting at left back, which is the first sign for me of something a bit different to the team. I think it was the one change we made from beating Nottingham Forest last weekend. I thought, okay, fair enough, probably a smart decision to get him in. With Luton going to be heavily reliant on playing on the counter-attack. I think they started with a back five as well. Tough atmosphere. Just get someone in who, we're going to like sending Trent forward into the midfield in this inverted role quite often. So someone who can tuck in and really help defensively when Luton tried to break, winning the ball back in transition. And just someone who's maybe a bit more comfortable defensively. Tsimikas has filled in well for Robertson, but he is obviously a bit more attack-minded. So an interesting change to see there, but one that honestly made sense in the circumstances. But yeah, like I say, the first half lacked quality. There was a huge pattern of just players snatching at chances. You're going to see a recurring theme with some of the chances I talk about, just players blazing it over the bar. And yeah, it really did look like a scrappy game. Both sides not really packing too much of a punch, but around the first 10 minutes, we see Konate make a mazy run, something we actually see Matip usually do for us, but he had one run from our box at theirs. It was quite nice to see, but again, just if that's the first real thing to talk about in the first 10 minutes, you can tell it's already going to be one of those games, pretty tight and not really great on quality. Nunez, then we see one of these first opportunities to talk about where they just smash at the opportunity. Salah tries to, I think, make a run down the right as well, but Nunez got one mind and one choice only. He goes for the shot, blazes over, and I'm looking at that. I'm thinking he's got to slip Salah in really. A few minutes later, though, he does come a bit closer, hitting the crossbar. So brilliant long ball from Trent. He had a few of these in the first half, and he puts it over for Nunez, takes it really well into his stride, I think with his thigh or his knee, and then just lashes at it again. It's this kind of just snatching opportunities. He can maybe just place this one in the bottom corner, but he thrashes at it a bit, and then in the end it comes off the crossbar and it's an opportunity wasted. Tabore then for Luton, 15 minutes on the clock, has a brilliant opportunity to put them in front. He's positioned really well as the ball was played across spots, kind of gets deflected into his path, and then he has kind of a sight of goal, great positioning, but again, snatches a chance, blazes it over. Then again, 21 minutes, Szoboszlai free kick is played, whipped into the box, deflection, drops to Salah, again he blazes it over. A lot of these opportunities for players just snatching at them. 24 minutes, I have another one. Salah crosses in, Nunez heads it over, and it's just this constant, keep it down. It's football, not rugby, lads. And unfortunately, quite a few of these just, at the end of the day, it's a game where we know chances might be a bit difficult to come by because of how deep they're going to sit. We're going to need maybe some opportunities from outside the box, but you've got to still be composed on them. Maybe not a lot of time because, another big pattern of this first half, Luton were pressing really well. And I think credit to them because they made a real game of this. I remember when they played Tottenham a few weeks ago, they started very shaky. They were giving up a lot of opportunities, whereas here, they really upped their game. They were clearly ready for the occasion, and fair play. They were well deserving taking it into half-time 0-0. Brilliant run from Gravenberch about 10 minutes before half-time, actually slips in Jota. Keeper makes a good save from near post. I think that's possibly our best chance of the half. But then Liverpool at the time as well, just sloppy. Like I remember around the half-hour mark, passing around the box, and it just, anxiety levels just creeping up when we're playing it out from the back. Fine, understand that level play. I just don't like to see it a lot of the time because it's very dangerous. And yeah, just it's not really pleasant to watch when you're being pressed so quickly. Sometimes you think, just snap up the pace of it. And then careless back heel from Maka as well I had just before half time. This one falls to him in the box. Just he's kind of got his back to it as it comes, but he just goes for a little back heel flick without even really looking where it goes. Falls to Barkley outside the box and he blazes it over, as many of the chances in the first half did. Second half comes and we step it up. But Luton's still showing some threat. I think they actually got one of the most dangerous opportunities early into the second half, around 56 minutes. A break down the right and a low cross is gathered pretty well by Alisson, but really danger of someone getting on the end of that. Then Liverpool again caught out Ogbene for Luton. Brilliant drive, beats Trent with ease, beats Kanate, and then tries to square it into Morris. There's a little bit of pinball and we scramble it away. Huge chance for Luton. It's just, despite us trying to step it up, taking control, we had so much possession, as you'd expect. Luton getting these cutting chances. It was a bit worrying to see quite a few of these turnovers as well, and us just getting caught out and not really being able to deal with it so well. At times it just looked very shaky. And then, coming towards the later stages of the game with Hakpo with an opportunity, Elliott crossing in, Hakpo flicks it wide, just behind him, tries to get a little back heel touch onto it, can't quite get it in, and then a huge miss. So, disclaimer, the offside flag does appear to go up for this one, but Trent whips one in from the left. I think Salah himself should score here. It's an easy header to go for, but it does look like he tries to pick out Nunez instead. Again, I'm not so sure why. I think he should be taking this, heads it down for Nunez, and then he has a few of these moments. He skies an open goal. Like I say, thankfully flagged for offside, but not great. And it does seem to cost us, because not long later, took a couple of penalty appeals. First of all, Van Dijk called down around 74 minutes. Not given after a brief check. Did seem like one that, not sure about the decision. He was quite clearly pulled down. But then, not long later, 10 minutes or so to go, Liverpool are appealing for a penalty for handball, which, not really one you're going to see given. But this is one of my biggest problems in football when players do this, right? You're appealing for a penalty, fine. But get on with the game, because it's coming, it's our corner. Our players kind of stop and shout at the ref, but Luton get on with it. They play, they break on the counter, and of course, they score. It's played down the right, they cross it in for Chong, who has an easy finish in the end. And it's just like, we're so slow to get back to it because we're busy complaining at one end about penalty. And I hate seeing this in football. It's make your complaints, make it heard, let the VAR checks go on in the background or whatever, but get on with the game, most importantly. Do your jobs, get back. And it's such a poor and sloppy goal to concede in that sense, because yes, it was a good break from Luton, but where were our players getting back? They were not up to speed because, like I say, that moment, hesitation while trying to call for a penalty instead of just, getting on your bike. A few extra players needed to be joining that transition because the Luton players were on it. They were very quick to move the ball forward. And unfortunately, we're behind, and it looks like it's going to be that banana peel I worried about before the game. It looks like it's going to be another one of those, like we lost at Bournemouth, like we lost at Nottingham Forest last year, where, a 1-0 defeat away from home and silly drop points on the road. But then a moment of magic from Luis Diaz later on. He's come off the bench. He's only just been included in this game because he's made himself available. Of course, his father is still been kidnapped at the moment. They are still trying to negotiate, and of course, continued prayers and hopes that he will be reunited with him. And it's just written in the script almost, it feels like, that Luis Diaz comes off the bench and saves us in this game. Brilliant ball in from Elliott, finds Diaz at the back post, and it's a great header, and beautiful moment for him. And it rescues the draw, but which I think on the balance of play, a fair result, but it very, very nearly slipped away from us again. And it feels frustrating. It's 2 drop points in a game where we should be winning against a team, with no disrespect to Luton, where we should be winning if we want to be serious title contenders. The only silver lining I can take from it is that we won away to Newcastle in a game where, if you looked at it on paper beforehand, you would have maybe taken a draw, and especially considering going 1-0 down, going down to 10 men in that game, we got the win. It maybe, you can say, it balances out if we just, step back up. But a worrying performance, one of those that can creep in. It's happened in the past. I remember City winning the league before losing to Norwich. So, it does happen. But yeah, the important thing for Liverpool is going to be get back on it. We have a Europa League game on Thursday, but then Brentford next week. We've got to win that Anfield and keep the momentum going again ahead of what would then be a big game in 2 weeks away to Man City, or 3 weeks rather, because it's after the international break. But as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What did you think of the performance from Liverpool on one hand, but also Luton? Because credit to them, they've really brought it on today. And does this affect your thoughts of whether Liverpool in the title race? Of course, it's one game. You shouldn't judge the whole season off it, but does it show perhaps some weaknesses in the side, or can it be written off as just one of those bad days at the office? Let me know your thoughts, and of course, like, share and subscribe. Take care, people.